Well, this is basically an introduction video to my 1991 ZX7R. Here we can go to the VIN number here. See that firsthand. Let's see if we can see it. There we go. There we go. 1991 ZX7R. There's a difference between the K1 and the J1. The K1 is the R version, which is the single seat. Basically, it's a bike produced for racing. They made 1,000 of them, and that was what it was for. It was for racing, so they would be actually legal to race it nationally, because the manufacturers had to produce 1,000 at least of the bikes that they competed with. So this is the R version, meaning the race version of the normal ZX7, to demonstrate to the rule guys that they had done what they were supposed to do, and they in fact raced this bike, not this one, but this make, model, and year, the R version for production racing, or superbike, whatever you want to call it. And that's how they did it, was they produced 1,000 of them they could sell and make it legal. Anyways, this is a full titanium superbike race pipe. It goes all the way up to the headers and everything. It goes up here. You can see it in there. Anyways, it is full race because it was produced and manufactured by a Japanese race team that raced this bike, not this one of course, but this make, model, and year in 1991, and they produced this pipe for spare parts for their race team, and guess what? They never used it. So I got to locate it and get it put on my bike, and it had never been installed on a machine as of yet. So it is spotless, spectacularly clean, all the way, the whole bit, just absolutely spectacular. And it is full titanium, so it is super light as well as just simply neat. I had AP calipers put on for Scott Russell, you know, imitation. Scott Russell is who I actually followed when I was a novice, not racing yet as of that. And he had AP brakes on his bike, so I had calipers custom made and titanium bolts for the calipers put in, and the calipers mounted on here. This is actually, on this side, a Brembo caliper, not a AP caliper. I'm sorry, not caliper. It is a Brembo, I'm sorry. Getting confused here. This is an AP caliper, yes, obviously, but the Brembo rotor is there because I can't find another AP rotor for this side. There's an AP rotor, as you can tell, on the opposite side. I'll look at that when I get to that point. But this side is a Brembo rotor because it is superior than the stock one, but not quite as amazing as the AP rotor. You can see that the dark area is where the AP caliper does not touch, because the AP caliper is a long, skinny pad, not a short, wide pad. Anyways, AP doesn't make motorcycle parts anymore, but I contacted them and asked them if they still had a slew of master cylinders, because it's adjustable to where you can hit the brakes with 4 fingers and barely slow down, or you can hit the brakes with 1 pinky and do stoppies. You can adjust it that widely. It's an amazing caliper, or a master cylinder. And they actually didn't make them anymore. So what they did was they had all the parts. So they literally assembled me an AP Master by AP, as it, obviously. They assembled it with their parts and sold me the AP Master, even though they are a drifter car company now. Now, I wanted to show you guys something too. This little piece of tape, this is here with white and blue. to match the paint scheme, not trying to hide a scratch or anything. It is literally scratchless. There's nothing wrong with the tank. It is prime, but I rode it a few times and I didn't want to scratch the tank, so I put this on there just to protect the tank from any mishap that might cause scratches. So again, that you can take that tape off, it doesn't matter. But I put on Marchesini magnesium wheels, these guys here, and that's magnesium super light. That's another added, bonus for the purchaser of this, because I've done everything. Basically, I used to race this bike back in the day, not this one, like I said, but one just like it back in the day, and I did all this stuff to that bike too and made it better for competition and use. However, I do have everything stock. I do have everything. So literally, I even have spare gas tanks. That yellow one's included in there too. It's yellow because they apparently painted it yellow, but I have 2 extra tanks. And the reason why I did that was because if I ever had an issue, I wanted to have a spare tank to replace it with, because that is an aluminum tank. It's not steel, it's an aluminum tank, and amazingly light. So everything on this whole bike was designed to be light and not carry a passenger, obviously. And it's just an amazing machine. I'll show you the rotor just because I want to end this video with the rotor, just so you can see what I'm talking about here. As far as the AP rotor system, this is an AP rotor, and it is absolutely beautiful, and virtually half the weight of the Brembo on the opposite side. So again, with the light thing, but I can't find another one. I have the steering dampener too for that goes there, but I actually added headlights that are digital or LED and updated that so you have a better view. But I didn't realize that putting that in there made this right here stick out too much, so the headlight blocks the steering stabilizer. Anyways, I do have the stabilizer. It's right here, but I just never used it because it didn't fit anymore. Anyways, you can do whatever you want, obviously. I've had really a fun time with this machine, and you can actually see from the tire wear, I've had actually fun riding this machine as well. But in all reality, I just want to stay alive. So I've done everything I used to do back in the day to this bike, and it's ready for somebody else because I want to stay alive.